welcome to my Money in the Bank 2016 in wrestling, of course, predictions. I'm not with LilBiTInSaNe this one, and he might not come back. I'll leave a link in the description of like why he's not here. Basically there's a bit drama, and yeah, so I'm alone in this episode. If you want to try out for me and joining my record, you must need Skype, and just let me know on my Facebook or Twitter, which is always in the description. So in Money in the Bank, there are actually 2 pre-show matches, and let me just let me share my screen right now. So these are the matches right now. So yeah, I'm gonna just go I'm gonna start from the bottom and go up. So there is Dolph Ziggler versus Baron Corbin. Well, Baron. Now I gotta say, I am a big fan of Dolph Ziggler. Alright, I mean, although I do think that he does deserve a break, I think he deserves less screen time. They actually, I don't know, because I haven't been staying tuned with SmackDown, so I don't know, but I think he deserved less screen time. But yeah, and I think Dolph Ziggler will come out on top, because if you guys saw SmackDown, for me it was last night, because I'm recording this on Friday, June 17th, but he was ready, so I think Dolph Ziggler would win on that. Next pre-show match is Sheamus versus Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is actually one of the best wrestlers that has gotten a Kickstarter. I mean, if he's not in my top 10, but I think he's pretty good in the ring, so I have to go with him, because not just because he's quite getting a lot of support, but Sheamus has just been Sheamus has been too much at it right now. So yeah. Next is Rusev versus Titus O'Neil. Oh man, and it's for the United States champion, and your current United States champion right now is Rusev, the Russian brute, as Ravishing Lana would say. Now, I think Titus O'Neil, in all due respects to Titus O'Neil, I think Rusev will come on top. Didn't you guys see the attack on Raw a few days ago? Whoa. I really think Rusev would retain it. But there's one thing. If you're new to my channel, I don't really like Rusev, because he's trying to defend Russia. I don't got anything against Russia, but he has the United States champion, and he says that Russia is all superior. If you think Russia's that good, then why come to the United States? I mean, I think it's just an understatement that Rusev's trying to change. I don't want him to change the name to Russian States Championship, but like I said, I'm not trying to attack anyone in Russia. If you're a Russian, full respect to you. Next is Charlotte and Dana Brooks versus Becky Lynch and Natalya. This one for me, easy, Becky Lynch and Natalya, because is it just me, or Dana Brooks and Charlotte haven't been getting on the same page as much? And also Becky Lynch and Natalya, they have a game plan, they have it all ready. But Charlotte and Dana Brooks, they haven't been showing it as much. They don't see, it doesn't look like that they're ready yet. Next is one of the ones I might be number 1 wanting to happen, but I know it might not. The New Day, aka your current tag team champions, versus the Vaudevillains, versus Enzo and Cass, versus the Club for the tag team champions. If you're also new to my channel, you're gonna know this. I am the biggest fan of Enzo Amore. I could do my name is Enzo Amore. I'm a big fan of Enzo and Cass, But what I just saw on SmackDown last night, I think that the Vaudevillains are not gonna do it. I don't think they're gonna win. The Club, I do not believe that they're gonna. I believe that they're gonna have the massive chance, and it's gonna get down to the wire. But I think the winner would be the New Day. But I do want Enzo and Cass to win. So what do we have so far? We just went through these, from up here to down here. I cannot click it because it actually has my Facebook up here. But now we're getting into the 3 main matches. While we are right here, let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think who would win all these matches? So yeah. The next one is AJ Styles versus John Cena. I'm going to be quite honest here. I think the Club is going to get involved here. Something about it makes me think the Club is going to try to interfere. But I think if the club doesn't interfere, I'm going to go with John Cena. John Cena was ready, so yeah. There's no words to explain it. It's just he was ready. Next is Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I'm going to get into it in a bit, but like right after this, but I think that Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins, I don't like any of them. Roman Reigns is just too much for me. But Seth Rollins has never lost a champion. Well, not like that. I mean, like, he hasn't lost the WWE Championship. He just had to vacate it because he was inactive. But I think Roman Reigns would come on top. But I'm going to actually have to come back to that in a minute. So, next is the Money in the Bank ladder match with Cesaro. Well, like, yeah, Cesaro versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn versus Alberto Del Rio versus Dean Ambrose versus Chris Jericho. And the Money in the Bank ladder match. So let's actually look at it here. We can cross out Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho is a little rusty, you know? Like, he hasn't been winning, you know? I don't think he's going to win at all. Like, I don't think he's... I understand he made the ladder match, but I don't think he's capable of winning it, especially with everyone in the ring at that time. Alberto Del Rio is kind of the same. Alberto Del Rio hasn't... I mean, isn't it true that he did win a Money in the Bank once, but I don't think he will win. Like, because there's Kevin Owens and Cesaro, and that's why I don't think those two, Kevin Owens and Cesaro, for me, can take out Alberto Del Rio and Chris Jericho in a handicap match. Like, it could be Kevin Owens versus Alberto Del Rio and Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens would win. Same with Cesaro. So, I don't think Alberto Del Rio or Chris Jericho would win. And that leaves us with Dean Ambrose, Cesaro, and Kevin Owens. Now, I would really want it to be that Dean Ambrose wins. I know I'm saying that like in a joyful mood, but you know, I do think that Dean Ambrose has a chance. Now, if Cesaro were to face Kevin Owens, I think Kevin Owens would win, but due to everyone else is in the ring at this time, I think Cesaro would beat Kevin Owens. So, Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro. Let me know in the comments before we continue who you think would win in the Money in the Bank match. Do you actually think that Chris Jericho or Alberto Del Rio would win? Oh, and I forgot to mention Sami Zayn. So, Sami Zayn, I do not believe he could win. I mean, he has the biggest chance in the world, okay? I think Sami Zayn would actually get very hurt, okay? Because Sami Zayn, you know, I think he really does have a big chance. So, yeah, and there's actually another reason I did not mention him, which we'll get into in a minute. Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose versus Sami Zayn. I understand this is not like, I'm not doing too well in this recording, but you know, yeah. But hopefully you guys can forgive me. And yeah, so I do believe that Dean Ambrose might win against Sami Zayn, so that's why I would say Cesaro versus Dean Ambrose. Now with Dean Ambrose versus Cesaro, I know I'm just doing process of elimination here, and that's not how it works. I do think that Cesaro might win, because Cesaro is there, and I do think Cesaro's been getting a lot of pops, which means that he's getting a lot of, you know,